So if my hypothesis is right, the bandits issues may come down to one of these little O-rings that sits in between the intake boot and the engine. And I may have been dicking around for 15 months trying to find it, and it might come down to a $3.03 O-ring. Let's hope that's the case. So I got the set of carbs pulled back out. Where I think my culprit is this boot right here. And I actually think the boots are okay. Thing is, we're gonna find, I've never pulled these off of this bike yet. These boots, they can get old and they can start to crack. And I don't believe that these have started to crack. But right in between there, between where it mates with the engine and the boot itself, there is a little O-ring that sits in there. And if that O-ring has gotten old, cracked, and destroyed with time, that could be the source of what I believe the vacuum leak that has given me all the crazy idles is. So we're gonna pull these off, and I'm gonna inspect those O-rings. I'm gonna put the new O-rings in regardless because, well, why not? And we'll see if this works. Yeah, so something I'm learning real quick is this is an oil-cooled engine. So radiator up front, it's pushing all the oil around. Undo these first, and then get the boots off, or else it's really tough to, they're all 5mm hex head, so easy enough, but you run less of a risk of stripping anything if you undo the oil lines. So I didn't do it on these, that's why I was making this one a pain. Now this will be much easier. So these are the intake boots here. So I don't actually think the boots are the issue. I've looked at these boots actually feel pretty good, and they're actually still got some flexibility to them. What I think the problem is, and this is the one that I most suspect is the issue, is this O-ring. It's flattened here. This O-ring looks like this. Okay, so this is what a new one would look like. And it would sit there. So these have been flattened. And if you see, here and here are two potential spots where this thing may not seal correctly. And it may have just lost all of its elasticity. So it's held in by just these two Allen bolts. And if there's any little bit of air coming through here, that could be your vacuum leak. Another one that doesn't look great is this one. It shows, this one looks better. A lot of this is on the inside that it cracked off, but right here is a spot where I'd want to replace this, regardless of if I knew this one was working okay or not. But this one for sure, this is carb boot number 4. I feel pretty strongly that I've got a leak here. Now, I've never pulled out one of these completely crushed O-rings like this. That being said, I do know that I have the replacements here, so I'm gonna pick at this for a little while and get this thing out, and I'll install a new O-ring. And usually I like to use a little bit of this high temp Valvoline grease, Mark Martin baby. And it'll make it sit in there nice. I don't know how cleanly this is going to come out, but I'm going to give it a shot. This might be a little comedy of errors coming up, but we're going to see. I know this has to be replaced. We got a vacuum leak. This is a good culprit. This is coming out. I'm replacing it. So the other half of this, make sure the intakes, the mating surface is nice and cleaned up. So I just went over these with starter fluid, and they look pretty polished up. So let's get this bad boy back on here and see if we can create a tight seal. You want to see the move of a dumbass? This is the move of a dumbass. Might be tough to see. These boots don't line up. They have to be installed in a certain way. Nice work, Matt. That was dumb. So I'm gonna show you something that I just figured out after at least an hour of trying to get these things lined up. Number one, fucking label these things 1 through 4 when you take them off. But 2, and I'm just about to verify this because I've tried every combination in my head, but it hasn't worked. But I just think I figured it out. On the top here, there's some words, all right? And over there it says up, okay? And that up is not in the 12 o'clock position. Number 2 and number 3 have up right on the top. 4 and 1, I can see it. When I flip these two to the opposite sides, up is gonna be in the 12 o'clock position. I didn't see that at first. I swear I laid them out in order, but I didn't, or else they would fit. And it's only like a millimeter or 2, but you can just tell it's not gonna fit. So I'm gonna flip these 2 around, and damn, I wish I would have fucking seen that at first, because I wouldn't have wasted the, well, I didn't waste it. I listened to Theo Vaughn talk to Joey Diaz for the last hour, so it's just one of those things, I guess, live and learn. So legitimately, that just took hours for me to do that, and that shouldn't have taken me more than an hour and a half, but it did. And I feel comfortable with where it's at right now. Open up the garage door, and it's cold as shit. So hopefully this works. I've got the carburetors primed up. I've got the new O-rings in the intake boots. Everything's reconnected. Pair is disabled. Choke's on. Battery's charged up. Let's see what we got. Got blinker on. And it usually wanders by now. Nice. This guy's just watching me, watching myself on a video. Fucking snowed a bunch here. I don't like it. It sucks. But this is okay. Choke's off. Sitting about 1,000 RPMs now. I feel like once it gets a little bit warmer, we'll probably rest at about 1,200. That's what I'd like to see. There's a lot of white smoke still coming out. Now, number one, it is about 8 degrees outside, so some of that's going to be steam and condensation. The other part is we know that this is running rich because we got this thing tuned out to be rich based on the 3 turns out on the idle mixture screws, which should be 1 7/8 stock. That's sort of a, shit, I should have fucking fixed that when I had it back on the bench. I could change them while they're on the bike. It's just much more difficult. I could have done it in 3 seconds when it was off, but anyway, I'm gonna give it a little more heat. Then we're gonna see if we can give us some beans. Wake everybody up in this fucking neighborhood. Let's do it. It's not warm yet. The idle screw a little bit, give it a little more RPM. No, I'm not running an air filter or anything right now. This is straight into it. Air filter's still sitting off to the side. Also running on the reserve setting. I don't really have enough fuel in there to hit the top setting. It's easier for me to move it around if it's not totally full. Once in a while, which tells me I got to tighten down the boots a little bit. God damn, what the fuck? This is the most infuriating fucking machine I've ever worked on. In my life. Damn, with how that started, I thought it was going to be perfect. I gotta go and tighten everything fucking down again. I'm freezing. Because I had the garage door closed and now I opened it and now this sucks. So, take the whole thing back off and tighten the fucker up. Also probably fix the idle mixture screws and... Wow, my mood just went from pretty great to pretty shit. Fuck this.